I did not mean to say her name. Oops. Was that okay? This is harder than I expected. Hello everybody. So this is not something that I have done before, but I just thought, why not? I've seen a lot of people do story times. I just thought that this is something that's pretty interesting because it has to do with family, my own family. You think family isn't gonna, like betray you, or I don't know, just let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And yeah, let's get started. When all this happened, it was actually the day before my birthday. It was the day before my birthday when this happened, and I was just turning 17. At the time, I had worked at Torrid inside South Park Mall, and anybody who's worked there, y'all know they don't give you a lot of hours, so yeah. But anyway, I thought about a lot how I was gonna say this, and it's like coming out differently, but just bear with me. So I'm just trying to figure out where to start. It was actually a few months before. I'm not gonna say her name, but I mean, she's my cousin, so I don't give a anyway. And if she sees this, I mean, she knows who she is, so yeah. My cousin was like very, very close with my mom. She ended up asking us if we wanted to move in with her because her roommate at the time had like moved out, and like she needed somebody to go half with the rent and stuff like that. And at the time, my mom was like the main provider because my mom and my dad are split, so she was the one that was providing for me and my brother. She was letting whatever money that I made, like I can be able to use it like for myself, whatever I wanted, whatever I chose to buy. So yeah, she wasn't the type to take my money or nothing. She talked to me about it, and she was like, hey, do you want to like move in with her, and all this stuff. And then I was like, well, that's up to you, like you're the one that's gonna be paying her and like all this stuff. Like if you want to do that, then go ahead. She ended up saying yes, and we moved in. We had lived with her for maybe about, I would say 7 to like 8-9 months maybe. We were living there, and then out of nowhere she like starts telling my mom like, hey, I'm gonna move out, y'all need to like give me y'all's half of the rent, whatever. I believe she had to give her like $600, but at the same time she wanted us to move out like next week, like so freaking fast. And what gets me upset was that my own cousin, the one who betrayed us, I don't know if this is too much, but I really don't care, but ever since she was in high school, she had started liking girls, and her mom like did not even approve of that. And so the fact that her mom didn't even approve of it, my mom was there with like open arms. Like her own mom stopped paying for her car, stopped paying for her school. Like she was like, if you're gonna be with that girl, like I don't even want to talk to you and all this stuff. And then who's the one that's there for her, like giving her money, giving her advice, like taking her out to eat and all this stuff? My mom. So it's like, okay, me and my mom were inside the room talking, and she was like, hey, like your cousin wants us to move out like next week. So my mom was saying, why would my cousin want the money like so fast when she knows that my mom's the only one that's working at the time? And it was like, we can use that money to put a down payment on like an apartment or something like that for us to move out. Like she was so inconsiderate of where we were gonna go. My brother was staying with my dad for a few days, and then my mom went to go like stay at her friend's house for a few days. Like we just all wanted to be away from her because of the way she was being. She actually started leaving like sticky notes around the house. Like she left a sticky note on my mom's door: the rent, please. And like mom had already talked to her, like, we need to find a place, I don't have a lot of money right now, I don't get paid until like 2 weeks later, but you want us to move out like next week, and you want the rent money right now, like not giving us time, And so oh my god, where did you get that knife from? And that's all she would put in the beginning. And then she left a sticky note like in the hallway, like whenever we would walk outside of our rooms, like we can see it on the wall. And then she put a sticky note in the restroom, she put a sticky note in the kitchen, like she was putting them everywhere. And then eventually these sticky notes, she was putting them everywhere like in the house. And then eventually, as the more notes she was writing, she was like, the rent's due now, and like with exclamation marks and all like capital and shit like that, like if we're scared. And so I was like, honey, no, like I was just upset the fact that she wasn't giving us time, or like she wasn't giving us an option. Like my mom at least was able to, you couldn't find nobody to move in with you, and like my mom was like, hey, that's fine, you know, I'll give you half the money. Every sticky note that she was putting on the wall, I was like taking them off, and I would like rip it up and I would throw it in the trash. I was like, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then we'll come around, and my birthday was in July. My birthday is July 7th. So July 6th, I got all ready, whatever. And like when you work at Torrid, you dress up, you know, like you have to at least go properly, you know, not all like sweats or like chancla, you know, like the slides or stuff like that, whatever, like look decent. I went like dressed up to work, whatever. And then at the time, me and my friend, like she worked at the mall as well, so we had went to work together. Like she came over, like she already knew the whole situation. I told her about it, so she ended up coming over. And then like while I was leaving to work, and then my cousin had actually just got home, and she was like, when we were like leaving outside the gate, she's like, don't come back. And I was like, I just like laughed and I walked away, and I was like, whatever, like I gotta go to work. When we were leaving, we saw her putting on a lock on the gate. Like she literally like bought a freaking lock thing. It wasn't the chain ones, but it was like those wire ones, and like she put around the whole lock and the whole freaking code and everything. And I was like, oh my god. So anywho, I just clocked in, and then my mom starts calling me. So I'm like, let me go to the back real quick. So I go to the back, so I go to the back, and then I answer her phone call, and she's like, where are you at? And I was like, I'm at work, I just clocked in, like what's happening? Where was I? Sorry. And then she was like, can you go home right now? And I'm like, I just clocked in, you know, like, and I came with my friend, you know, we're in her car, whatever. And so she was like, well, your cousin's having a yard sale with our stuff. Girl, I was like, what? And then my mom's like crying, and she's like, I can't believe they're doing this to us. Like they're having a yard sale and they have our stuff out there and everything like that. And I was like, oh my god. And I told my boss, she was like understanding about it. She was like, yeah, go ahead. So I went to my friend and I was like, hey girl, like this is what's happening, you know, like can I use your truck to go home? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. And she was all, make sure nothing happens to my truck. And I was like, bruh, who do you care about, me or your truck? Nah, I'm just kidding. I ended up being able to go. I went, and they had out, my mom had a smart TV that was worth like over $1,000. They had our TV outside. The washer and dryer that were even inside the house that we were using was my mom's. So they had out our washer and our dryer. They had out like a bed. They had out like my clothes from our room, like shoes, just different stuff of ours. Like they just went into our rooms, got shit, and put it outside for a freaking yard sale. And I tell you why I'm there, and a lady is literally buying my lamp. And I was like, it's okay, it's okay. Like, and a main part of this is that that little family that I'm talking about right now in our family is very money hungry. Like, insane. Like, they are so rude, and it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if it has to do with like her mom raised her like designer everything, like Coach shoes, Victoria's Secret, like all that stuff. And like my mom didn't raise me like that. It was more like, if you like it, you buy it, you know, like it doesn't have to be like only so much money. Like shit, your girl likes to save anyway. So I was like, okay, let's go back to the story. So there I go by myself. And my mom's like, call the cops, you know, like I'm on my way already, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm already on the phone with them, and I tell the cops like what's happening, and she doesn't even understand what I'm saying. She's like, so you need a ride over there to the house? And I'm like, no, I'm already here. Like, you need to bring a cop. I'm just letting you know, like, nothing's happened, but before something does happen, because this is a situation, like they put our stuff out and they're selling it, you know, they can't do that, it's not their shit. And so she was just like, okay, well, we'll get a cop out there, like whatever. And like it's funny because like then I had got outside the car, and then like I was right about to go into the driveway, like on the curb, and she's like, stop right there. And my cousin, she's like, stop right there, don't trespass, you're trespassing and all this shit. And I was like, girl, shut your mouth. Like I was like, And I just stayed there, and I was like, I'm gonna stay here, like. And she's like, get off, get off. I was like, nope, I'm staying right here. Get off, I'm staying right here. She's like, good, well then just stay there. And I was like, that's what I just told you, like, I'm gonna stay right here. Now mind you not, it's just my cousin, and then she has a sister, and then it's her mom. It's just like them three. And it's crazy because like my mom has 5 other siblings, so there's 6 of them, and them 2 are the youngest, and so they had like the closest bond, my mom and her mom. And so like we literally like grew up together. Like I guess that's why like it frustrates me so much, is because like my mom's been there like literally this whole entire time, you know, and like we've been there for y'all. And then like, so my mom ends up coming, and then, okay, I'm wrong. Actually, I call my friend and I'm like, hey, this is what's happening, like, can you come, you know, like, just in case anything happens. She's like, I have my 2 kids with me right now and all this stuff. And then I was like, oh, okay, like, it's fine, you know, I understand. Like, before I know it, she calls me back in like 5 minutes, and she's like, hey, I'm on the way. And I was like, oh shoot, okay. And like, mind you not, she knows my cousins because she used to go to school with them. Now she wasn't like close with them, but I mean, she knew of them. So she ended up coming over, and then like she got off, and we were walking closer because I was like, man, you know what, like I started looking through my stuff, and I was like, I'm taking this, you know. And of course I couldn't like go straight in to go get like the washer and dryer and like the TV. Like they weren't even letting me, they didn't even want me to go on their freaking sidewalk. So they were like coming closer. And like I said, I was like, I just turned 18, and I don't know, I've never been in a fight before. I still currently haven't. And I don't know, I wanted to like hit her so bad, like very, very badly. But at the time it was like just us 2, and I was like, man, like my friend has her kids, like I don't want to get her into anything, you know, and stuff like that. So I just like, we went to the car, and then like we were waiting for the cops. And then the cop came when my mom wasn't there the first time. They came, and then they were like, well, are you on the lease? And we're like, no. And they're like, because my cousin, whenever the cop went to go talk to them, my cousin said that all that was hers. Like she's like, this is all mine, like they don't even live here, like, and all this stuff. And I was like, oh my god, like there's not even a lease, you know, with my mom's name on it to prove, and like all that stuff. So the cop was like, okay, well then we can't do nothing about it. So I was like, okay. So my mom finally gets there, and then like she gets off, and like we go closer now that my mom's there. So we go closer, and then they're just like talking stuff to each other, like, and everything. And like my cousin, she's all like, and you told my mom that I got a ticket when I went out of town and all that stuff. And then she's like, I never even said nothing. She's like, you're already giving yourself away right now. Like my mom's not even like that. My mom's like a cool mom. I'm just kidding. No, but my mom, like, you know, she's cool, she's like, she's loving and giving, basically. Like she gives, you know, to the fullest with her heart and everything. So it's like, who backstabbing. But
you're over there fighting with all the freaking flies.
She has the audacity to say to my mom, like, you're a drunkie, like, and all this stuff. And like, it's crazy because, like I said, my mom and her mom were like this. So who do you think my mom drank with, you know, growing up? Your mom, girl. Okay. So, and at that, like, her mom was the worst drunk. Like she would, at the end of the night, she would always like take off all her clothes and like be laying there, and we're like, okay. And then like her girls, my cousins, have even had to put a tracker on her own mom's phone, my mom's sister, because like she would go out to eat, and then like she wouldn't even be there, she wouldn't even come home that night. And it ended up being that she was out with like guys, like going to different places and stuff. So they had to end up like putting that tracker to see where she was at. And I was like, my mom's not even that bad. Like I keep like saying different stories, and like this has happened a while back, you know. Like I said, I'm 22 now, so this was 2019, 18, 4 years ago. And ever since then, we still don't talk to them. Oh yeah, and it was funny because like I was like looking through my stuff or whatever, and like when I was looking, some of my cousin's stuff was there. And when she was in middle school, like high school, she was like skinny, right? Like she was really skinny. But as she's growing up, she's like gaining weight and everything. And so it's funny because I know I used to be like chubbier and I lost a little weight, so it was like the opposite for us. And so whenever I was like looking through the clothes, she's all like, don't touch that, none of that's yours. She's like, you're too fat for that. And I was like, well, at least I'm not selling my clothes to buy bigger ones, beach. Like, oh no, honey. I was like, whatever. I was just like upset. And then so I just started getting my stuff, and then like we went to the car, and then we had to wait like so long for the cops to come again. The cops finally came. Well, actually I told my mom, ugh. Whenever we were walking back to the car, my aunt was all like, you little prostitute. Like, she was calling me all these names, and like I was like, girl, because she was like, look at how you're dressed. And I said, like, that's why I said earlier in the story, like when you work at Torrid, you have to dress girly, you know. So like I was wearing a dress at the time, you know, and yeah. So I was just like, whatever, girl. And then like, actually I didn't say that. I never cuss at my aunts, but this has happened twice, which the other one is another freaking story that happened with us, our little family. But I was just like, F you, you dumb bitch. I was like, okay. I was like, you didn't even accept your daughter. I was like, she's a little carpet muncher. Like, and I have nothing against, you know, like what y'all choose to, you know, y'all's relationships and who y'all like and stuff like that. But I was just upset at the time. You know, she was calling me names that obviously were not even true. And, you know, she was just talking out of her ass. And so she was just like saying all these things. And then like we ended up going to the car. And then a little bit later, the cops came. And they were like, well, y'all need to have proof, you know, like whatever is yours. So me and my mom had to go to Conn's, where she got, you know, the only thing that we were literally able to get was the washer, the dryer, and the TV. That's it. Not our beds, not our dressers, not our clothes, not like anything. Only something that had proof that my mom had purchased it, that it was under our name. So we were like, we ended up getting a truck. We went back. The cops were like, okay, I'm gonna stay here where y'all get y'all stuff. So we ended up going inside. Like, we took it out.
That was a worm, right?
Anywho, keep getting interrupted. You know what's hard to remember where I'm at? So we ended up going inside, me and my mom. And it was funny because remember, she was like, don't pass the gate, don't pass the gate, and like all this stuff. So like as soon as like we walk in, I was the first to go, and I got the gate, and I was like, I like throw it open like dramatically, and I was like, enter, my dear. Like I was like just dramatic. And like my mom had like went inside, she was like, thank you. And like we went inside, and they were like sitting there on the freaking little porch, and they were like giving little like stank eyes and everything. And so I was like, y'all are giving us a stank eye when y'all aren't even, like, this is all y'all are letting us get, you know? And so whatever, like we ended up like getting that stuff. And then like my mom had found an apartment, but it was gonna take 2 weeks, I think, for us to move in, that till like the next one was available. So like we ended up staying at my grandma's for those 2 weeks. And then after that, we ended up moving into the apartment. And let's take it a step back. Sorry, I tend to jump everywhere in my stories. So if you already left by now, I completely understand. But if you're into it, like, comment, and subscribe. We're jumping a little bit forward. Sorry, you know, yes, we did get the apartment, but jumping a little bit forward, after that yard sale had happened, like that's all we were able to get. So the next day, actually, like my mom ended up telling me like, hey, the electricity is off over there, like nobody's living there, you know, and we still had the key. So I guess she thought, you know, like chaining up the gate can like stop us, but like no, honey. So I tell my husband, and then, you know, well, we weren't like married at the time, but you know, I tell him, and then like my best friend, I tell her like, hey, let's go into the house tonight, let's jump over the gate, go get whatever we can get. And like, mind you not, she moved in back with her mom, and her mom lives maybe like 3 blocks away from this house that we were living at. And so they were all down for it, so we were like, cool. So my husband like stayed outside with the trunk open, and then like me and my friend jumped over the fence, and then like we went inside, and we were just, and it's funny because I had just got new Nikes for my birthday, and they were all black. And so like we kind of like dressed in all black, and then like I wear my shoes, like a little burglary kind of to steal our own stuff back. Jump over the fence, we go inside. First of all, I get my little savings because I'm surprised they didn't touch that shit, but I had like a little bit of money saved up, so I got that first. And then I was just getting like clothes. Like the only thing that was really like able for us to carry, you know, like carry out, give it to my husband, put it in the car, whatever, let's go. So like my friend was getting clothes like from my mom's room, whatever she can get, and then I was getting clothes from my room. And I know we could have stayed there longer, but I mean the longer we were there, it was like, oh, like we had never done that before, so it was like a little adrenaline rush. So we were just like, okay, like that's it, let's go. So forwarding later to the apartment, like I said, whenever we moved in, we had nothing. We had to sleep on the floor. Like we ended up actually going to this furniture place, and then like I was new with credit, so I think I got approved for maybe like $3,000. So, and it was only $100 for delivery, that they were going to be able to go and take the stuff to us, and then also like set it up for us all in the same day, this everything at once. So we go to this furniture place, and then I get a bed set, my mom gets a bed set, and we get couches for the living room, you know, just something quick, you know, because they were actually having bed sets on sale, so that's why we ended up just getting those. And so we had to wait about another 2 weeks. So good thing it was carpet, so it was actually a little comfy, but I mean, if you've been through the struggle, you know what it feels like. So we ended up sleeping on the floor for 2 weeks, and eventually we got our stuff. And then my mom actually found out, she had a little car that she ended up getting a new one, but the old car that she had, it was already paid off, but the AC wasn't working. And then it was during the summer, so we weren't really driving it as much because of course, even with the windows down, it's freaking hot outside in the summer. So nobody wanted to drive it because you were just going to be sweating, you know, the whole entire time you were driving. So my mom found out that they actually got somebody to pick it up and go to a junker place, like, and they got money for it. And we were just like, wow, like they went that low, you know. And so I don't know, it was just crazy. And ever since
He's still getting attacked. Oh my god, why is getting attacked over there? But ladybugs, that's what's attacking you in your skirt.
and now we don't even like communicate with them like at all. And girl, if I did, I'm just waiting. I'm really waiting for her to come to me, you know, because I could have done, and I knew somebody that could have gone over there and like stole from them, messed up all their stuff, like, but I was like, you know what, I had to keep calm. And it was just crazy because I felt like that was something that put a block, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like all that anger, like I ended up having like built inside and everything, because it's like that kind of like ruins our family in general, you know, because it's like you don't want to go to family occasions and stuff like that, because like when I see her, I just get so heated, like, oh, like even like before, I'm surprised like I actually got through this without like being very upset, because before I would talk about it and I would just be like so angry and like so frustrated, and I would just cry. Like I would just cry about it, because come on, like we were sleeping on the floor, you know, and like we would have to stay at our grandma's before that, like, and it was just like messed up, you know. But I mean, don't always trust your family, you know, like yes, they are gonna be there for you a lot of times, you know. I'm thankful now, like my husband's family is there for us, and I still have my mom and my brother, so that's the good part. But I mean, do for yourself, and if they help, they help, you know. If they don't, that's why you count on yourself, you know, and like your own family that you have, you know. A lot of times they act a certain way, you know, like they front, they're like two faces, and nobody would expect, you know, nobody expects their family to be like that, like their own blood. Like I am closer to like my second cousins than I am my first line of cousins, like. And it just surprises me because, like I said, we were close growing up. Like every single holiday was at my grandma's in the back den, every single holiday, you know, like. And because I said there was 6 families, I was the youngest out of all of them until my brother came. But I mean, we were around the same age group. Like the cousin I'm talking about now, I'm 22, and I believe now, like she's, I would say like 24, 25. I don't know if she's like 2-3 years older than me, but how old are you? You know, like act mature, act your age, like yeah. I don't really know how to end this video, but I mean, that was basically all of my story. Let's see how this comes out in editing, because I was all over the place. I'm sorry for that. We actually came fishing and there's nothing really nugging because this river is moving too fast, but I thought it would be nice for the little view outside, you know, all this back here. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share it to somebody who maybe would want to hear this, or maybe who has fake family. Tell them it's going to be okay, because now
Me and my husband and my mom, we have a house, and everybody has their own room. It's big yard, and we love it.
everything happens for a reason. Until next time, I will see y'all later. Peace. It's my baby bug.
Come on.
Come on. So dramatic.
The bugs are pissing me off.
The bugs piss you
Yeah.
off?
Here. You go down there.
Sorry.
See what's down there.
Okay. We're gonna go to the next stop?
Yeah.
Bye.